Well, let's continue this. I think we'll see how the Germans react to our advances. Yes, you're shooting down. Oh, you're bombing. Oh, you're bombing us and our fighters are going after you. Yeah, good idea. So they went down into there. They're retreating. Okay, so we've gotten 2 of our 4 primary objectives as in hexes. We saw this unit move to there. Didn't want. Oh, did. Well, they were pursued to destruction. That is helpful. Yeah, we'll come out on the other side of the forest, I guess. Just pursue, pursue, pursue. Does open that up for air attacks, I guess, which is probably not the best thing. Probably should have moved them into the forest before attacking. Well, they're done. Let's see what we can use these guys on. Didn't, did they come down into here? Yeah, there they are. So we're gonna bring these Sturmovix down, strafe the forest. I want to swing south around the town so as not to approach it on the bridge in case it is occupied. Okay, our last objective is down in this wedge, down here. And do we still have one over here? No, I don't think so. Oh, over here at Kholm, yeah. Well, let's just reinforce these guys. Instead of move them in a way that they get them cut off. It's been a little too pushing with some units, I think. Particularly the armor units. Yeah. I shouldn't have moved them like that. That was a mistake. Ah, we found a bunker. Fun. No, we're gonna fall back from the bunker. Hey, thanks for following. We really do appreciate it. Yep, thought they were there. Well, they can continue the pursuit. Guess they've all moved right. Okay, well. Okay, some 38Ts are over there. Let's visit this guy with Well, since they're being nicely beat up, we'll strike them again. Hey Arno, how you doing? Okay, we're going to send our hurricanes back for reinforcement. We'll let the horses, the cavalry, take care of them. I'm doing very well, thank you, Arno. We're kicking Nazi butt. And they're bombing our airbase. How nice. How bloody nice of them. Let's see about this. What can we do? Well, I think we're going to... Yes, let's elite reinforce them, get them up to full strength right now. And we'll launch them next turn. Hopefully that'll survive long enough. They came to there? No. What happened to the infantry? Where did they go? Which way did they go? No, I didn't pay attention well enough. Can't these guys bomb? Oh, they've retreated out of the city. That's why. Okay. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. As long as I understand what's going on, I'm just fine. Uh-oh. Bounced into these guys. Come on, Valentine. You did your work. You did your work. Very good. Okay, they weren't there. I thought there was going to be somebody there holding that. Don't think they'd make that, would they? Okay, we're going to reinforce. They're going to attack and not kill it. Okay, a little bit of information about the SDKFZ 2328 rad. Okay, can we get a better shot of it by any chance? No, I guess not. You can still see it down there, hopefully. Okay, the frame you see above it is, I know a lot of you are very familiar with this, but still I'm going to cover some of the basics. The frame above it you see is a radio antenna. At the time, and I am not a radio specialist by any means, but at the time, you needed an antenna as long as the wavelength it was sending out over. And so they hadn't quite, this was developed before 1939. They hadn't quite developed, I guess, the ability of making shorter antennas, or, you know, lengthwise, but wrapped around things, or whip antennas coming up. So they made this big tubular type antenna in there. And so this was common. You see it in their earlier four-wheel drive vehicles that actually sort of have a raised and lowerable antenna. In their earliest vehicles, they had a few radio cars, if you will, and everybody else just waved flags around. By the time you're getting into 1939, I think most, if not all, of the armored cars, you know, we're talking these scouting vehicles here, have a radio set in them, and I think it is a duplex, meaning sending and receiving. But they're shorter. They have a standard sort of what we would think like a car aerial, at least of the older days. Again, now they're able to hide that in the windshield in some of the car cases. But those shorter aerials are set up that can only say talk within a sort of unit. You know, this is representing a bunch of these things. So they could communicate to the main car or the radio or the main radio one, and then this vehicle would then relay the reports back to higher command. So this was set up this way, and this came with and without the big aerial above it. Without it, it just had a sort of more regular radio set in it. They both had a 20 millimeter main gun, a MG34, maybe even an MG15, but I think it's an MG34. The 8 millimeter Mauser sort of standard gun in it, and the front of the armor is fairly decent. It's not, well, it's sort of somewhat made for fighting. Now, before this comes out, there's a 6 rad. It's a six-wheel vehicle. It's based more on a standard truck frame with just an armored car body on it. It's found, even before the start of the Polish campaign, to be not that good an off-road. So they're still used in Poland. I think they're still used in France, the 6 rads. But they're pulled out of frontline service by the end of France. I don't think any of them are seen, you know, operating anywhere near frontline operations in Russia. Now, I say frontline in that I recently sort of looked into them. They didn't go in and scrap all the old ones. They just used them for internal security operations. So, you know, fighting the partisans, whether they be in France or in Russia. And so, yeah, once the front lines are collapsing, they might well have been pushed back into service. So they're already setting up with the 8 rad by the start of Poland. I mean, they're already in development with them for much better cross country. So this goes on. Eventually you get into the Pumas, which is a late war variant with a 50 millimeter. It's a redesigned engine system. But this is really, you have to really understand sort of at the time period, this is rather revolutionary. in their ability to move, observe, and communicate. We saw earlier a photo in which you had the BA-10 guy reaching out to the motorcyclist. Well, those BA-10s, I'm sure at least some of them had radios in them, and they would do reconnaissance, but there was still a lot of messenger service running around. And to some degree that continues, of course, in the German army, because radios with ground conditions, hills, trees, that kind of thing, and atmospheric conditions can mean that you're no longer in contact reliably. But this really, really gives the Germans an ability to give the commanding officer, and whoever that may be, whether it's a battalion, division, corps, whatever, a good look at what the enemy's doing. Fairly, is not just where they were, say, 4 hours ago, where they are right now. Immediate radio reports going up the chain of command. And that's quite revolutionary for the time. And it's not that the Germans are the only ones doing it, but I do believe, especially, and until we really see the British get the hang of it, and they do after a while, I'm getting around now, they're getting better at it, 42. And then the Americans come in and do it supremely well with radios down to the squad level, though, sort of walkie-talkie type radios. But until that sort of comes around, the Germans are doing it exponentially better than just about everybody else in its radio communications going on. So they are really, really, that's more, in my opinion, that's more important than an extra company or battalion of regular foot soldiers marching around somewhere, is the ability to better understand what's going on in the battlefield and deploy your forces. Doesn't always work, as we're seeing historically here, but it is very much a thing, and it's an important one. Okay, well, we have our aircraft. Let's concentrate this time on our 38Ts. Okay, well, they are now very much less of a threat to us. Well, let's move up to the bridge here. Yeah, oh, there's a supply truck. So yes, we will have at least an opportunity. I may have flubbed it by not pushing hard enough, fast enough to capture supplies from our enemy. Yes, very much so. Okay, let's fly down this way. Yes, we know. Continue. Okay, we lost an objective? Huh? Oh, what? We had 2. Now we're down to 1? We have that one. What? Where's... You have that one. Well, it said we just had... Oh, that one's back into... Uh-oh. They've retaken that one. Yes, I see. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, so we've got to get that back. I'm actually slipping here. Okay, well... Now, what we're going to do is we're going to continue this next week. I know I actually sort of put the wrong date up this week. But we're going to continue this next week. And so I want to thank you all for coming here. If you haven't already, you can go to my channel on Twitch. That's gamer_1745. And on there you'll see a link to my YouTube channel, which I will be posting this up in segments, so you can see that there if you missed the first part of this or want to catch some other great historical games. And I've got some more interesting stuff to talk about this battle, so like I say, come next week. And like I say, follow here, follow my channel, subscribe over on YouTube. And we'll be continuing this campaign and learning more about the Soviet viewpoint of the Second World War, as often known there, the Great Patriotic War. So again, I want to thank you all so much. Thanks, Jakulius. I really do appreciate you and all the other regulars that come here, and that are still around at the end of the stream. Thanks, everyone.